us your name and what office you're running for?
My name is Danny Page, and I'm running for United States Senate here in Tennessee.
What inspired you to run for the office of senator in the state of Tennessee?
Well, I'm fed up with the way things are going, and in my anger, I began to pray, and I believe that God asked me to run the campaign, to run for U.S. Senate. And I took it to prayer, prayed for weeks, months, took it to my wife, took it to friends, and took it to my pastor. And after several months of praying, we all concluded that that was God's will for me.
What have your children said about what you've decided to do?
My children love it. I helped a friend, an acquaintance, campaign a few years ago for Congress. We made phone calls for Rick Santorum in 2012, and we posted signs and things of that nature. So my kids absolutely love it. I'll come home from an event, and they've got their artistry all over the house. You know, they make their own campaign signs. So they love to hear me on the radio and TV interviews and things of that nature. So they're really enjoying it.
You talk about the country you want to make for your children. Can you paint a picture of what kind of country that would be for us?
The type of country I want my children to grow up in is a country where everyone recognizes each other's God-given right to liberty. Where we're not worried about what's going on next door. We're not worried about what's going on down the street. As long as we don't trample on one another, we don't trespass on our neighbors. The golden rule, you know, we were taught the golden rule as children, but when we grow up, we kind of forget about the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is the basis of liberty. Let me live my life. Let my kids live their life. And let's just go on and get along. And sometimes, you know, you don't agree with what your neighbor's doing, but as long as it doesn't affect you, as long as it doesn't harm you, it's okay. It's okay for my neighbor to be a liberal, even though I'm a conservative. But when he becomes a progressive and asks me to do the things that he does, then I have a problem because he's trespassing on my liberty.
I know you've got 25 things, a list that Lamar has done on your website. Can you name anything that Lamar has done correctly?
That's a hard one right there. Crickets. Messed up Lamar. I can't really think of anything that Lamar has done that I'm happy with. I think that he's done so many negative things that it cancels out any positive that he's done. And I've even gone to his website and looked for his accomplishments as senator, and the only one is the Fishing Act. And after 12 years, if that's the best he's done for Tennessee, you know, he ought not even have it on his website.
You're running as an independent. Why are you running as an independent instead of as a Republican? Do you feel maybe, what is your ideas about why you're running as a Republican, independent versus Republican?
There are 10 people in the Republican primary, 10 men and women that have thrown their hat in for that nomination. When you have, a lot of Tennesseans are going to cast a protest vote against Lamar. We know that. But the problem is that protest vote could land on any of the other 9 individuals in that race, and you divvy up the vote, you split the conservative base in that race, and it's hard for one person to come out. Statistically, the incumbent gets at least 30% of the vote. So all of a sudden you have 30% you have to overcome, and when you're dividing that up between 9 other people, it's really hard to do. So we prayerfully considered, we did the math, and we're on the ballot in November 4 as an independent. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change what I'm about. I'm still a conservative. I'm still a constitutionalist. I'm still a man that's about liberty. But it gives us a second shot in Tennessee to unseat Lamar. 9 people are taking a shot at him in the primary on August 7th, and I'm taking a shot at him on November 4th if he survives the primary. If he doesn't survive the primary and somebody comes out of that, that's great. We're going to have a great time between August and November.
And if you did win the Senate, what's the first thing you think you're going to do when you get up there?
The first thing I'm going to do is take Tennesseans with me. We're going to have a staff of Tennesseans. We're going to hire Tennesseans. People in Tennessee need jobs. People in Tennessee are talented. I'm not going to Washington to set up an office and hire from that staffing pool where they rotate staffers in and out of Senate offices and congressional offices to show you the ropes. And really what they're doing is infiltrating your office and and not electronically bugging your office, but bugging your office because they are the eyes and ears for the establishment. And we're going to just dismantle that whole operation by bringing fresh faces, people that we can trust with us. And we're going to send that shockwave first and foremost. And I'm going to look for allies in the Senate that believe in liberty, that have conservative values, and that are standing up for America. People that aren't afraid to take a hit, that aren't afraid to be called names by the left and to come under personal attack. I don't work for the left. I work for Tennessee. I work for Tennesseans, and I work for the principles and values of Tennesseans.
Now, you were talking about term limits. What is your take on term limits?
I believe that George Washington set the example. 2 terms and go home. In fact, he had to be persuaded to run that second term. I believe it was John Adams and maybe Thomas Jefferson that came to him and said, "Sir, if you leave now, this republic falls apart. We really need you to stay." We need more people with the heart and the spirit of George Washington. George Washington warned us in his farewell address. He said, we have 2 political parties, and there were 2 different parties then than what we have now. And he said, they serve a purpose for now. He said, but there's a day coming when cunning and ambitious, deceitful men will run those parties that will subvert the system, and they will take over, and it will destroy your republic. And I take that warning to heart. We've got to quit doing the things we've been doing, and we've got to look at things differently, because what we've done in the past 30, 40, 50 years is breaking America. It is not working.